Here's our presentation on meiosis2 genetics using dihybrid crosses, using two traits at the same time. You should probably have watched the video on monocrosses first, as this is a extra level, extra step in the process. First of all, again, when we're producing gametes in meiosis, metaphase 1, the homologous chromosomes line up side by side with each other. So here we have a dominant and a recessive. Could be dominant and dominant, but in this, just to show you, it's the traits here, the homologous chromosomes. This could be for tall and short. This could be for yellow pod and green pods. There are probably, again, many other chromosomes should be listed down here, but since we're not interested in them, they would be undergoing the same kinds of things. Now, if these separated in anaphase 1, moved over, you would have the big Y and the big T together. But what's to say that you couldn't have the big T's and the little Y's together? These two line up. Every one of these homologous chromosomes line up independent of each other. It's called the law of independent assortment. So big T could end up with little y, or big T could end up with a big Y. So there's more possibilities here than we saw before. So if we moved into anaphase, where they're going to move apart, we could slide these two over to here. In this case, it would be the big T with the big Y, but it's also, of course, this would move away, but it's also valid to think of the big T and the little y moving over here, and the little t and the big Y could separate out and form gametes that way. It's 50-50. If this were to happen, we would end up with these separating in the second phase, and each of these gametes would end up being big T, big Y, big T, big Y. And over on this side, we have the possibility of, oops, forgot to finish that, sorry, separating, and we would have then 4 gametes, big T, little y, big T, little y, little t, big Y, and little t, big Y. But there's an equal chance that the gametes could end up being, when they line up, let's bring them back into the middle here, before they separate, they could also line up like this, and you could have the dominants both together, and then when they separated and the second division of meiosis occurs, you'd end up with little t, little t, little y being a set of gametes, and another set of gametes. And over here, we could get big T, and the big Y, and the big Y would separate, and we could end up with a set of gametes that were dominant. So we have to consider all the possibilities here. Big T, big Y, and big T, little y. Little t, big Y, and little t, little y. They're all possible gametes. And again, here we have the chromosome, chromatid, which is a strand of DNA representing with the alleles. Now we're looking at just the traits we've taken, again, the chromatids away, and we're looking at a parent 1 and a parent 2 crossing, both heterozygotes for both traits. So what is the possibility? This T could go with the big Y, and we'd get this gamete produced. But this T could also go with the little y, and we'd get this gamete produced. The little t could end up with the big Y, and we'd get this gamete. And the little t could end up with the little y, and we'd get this gamete produced. Likewise, on the other side, the same thing's going to happen. Big T, big Y. Big T, little y. Little t, big Y. And little t, little y. So both parents produce the same types of gametes, but there's 4 of them instead of 2 as we had in the monohybrid cross. Now, if we just slide these down to the spots on the Punnett square like we did before, it doesn't matter which parent goes where, and again, the colors are just for us to see there's differences. They're really not colored. It's just the way, put them up there to try to show what's going on. We slap these on, and notice the Punnett square is bigger. Now it's a 4x4 instead of a 2x2. Oops, we have an extra. Let's see if I can fix that real quick. Alright, there we go. Line these up a little bit better. And now it's a 4x4. Sorry about that. And now we fill in every box to the right with what is here, every box to the right with what is here, every box to the right with what is here, and every box to the right with what is here. So, starting off, I need a big T, big Y. So we'd get a big T and a big Y. I'm going to separate them a little bit so we can put the other T's and Y's in appropriately so it's a little bit easier to read. And now here, a big T and a little y. So I'm going to put in a big T and a little y. And for the little ones, I put them more on the right. You'll see why in a bit. Okay, a little t and a big Y goes in here. A little t and a big Y goes in here from this box. And from the bottom one here, let's move that down just a little bit. Okay, a little t and a little y. So a little t and a little y. Okay, now we can move it down and we'll fill at least one row. We need a big T and a big Y. To finish this off, moving down now. Okay, and now we need, again, a big T and a big Y. Big T and a big Y. Takes a little time here, but eventually we'll finish this off. Big T and a big Y. Okay, so now we've finished off this first column. Let's go to the second one. Now we need a big T and a big Y in here from the right. From the left here. So we have to put a big T in here. And a big Y. And now a big T going into here, a big T and a little y. a big T, and a little y. And across here, a little t and a big Y. Little t and a big Y. And down here, a little t and a little y. And we're half done. So, oh no, we have to move down here now. Those are the cross. Now the tops. Big T, every box below here, big T and a little y. Big T, little y. Oops. Big T, little y. Big T, little y. And big T from the top again, and little y. So now we're half done. So let's move over again. Big T, big Y from here across. Moving across, big T, big Y. Here across, big T, little y. Takes a bit of time, but if you follow the pattern here. So little t, big Y goes into this box from the side here. And down here, little t, little y. Little t and little y. Now moving down, little t, big Y in every box. Little t, big Y. Little t, big Y. Little t, big Y. And finally, little t, big Y. All right, 3/4 done. Finally, again across, big T, big Y. Big T, little y. Little t, big Y. And big Y, sorry. There we go. And little t, little y. Coming down to finish up, little t, little y. Little t, little y. Little t, little y, and little t, little y, and little t, oops, put it next to it, nice, and finally little y. We've got all the possible combinations. Now if we just look at these quickly, we'd see we'd have, in the first box, we'd have a tall yellow plant. Here's a tall yellow plant. Even though this is a heterozygote, it's still tall and yellow. Here's a tall yellow plant, and here's a tall yellow plant. So far, all tall and yellow. Now in the next row, tall and yellow, tall, and green. Here's a first difference. Tall and yellow, tall and green. Okay? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tall yellows and 2 tall greens so far. Here's a tall yellow. Here's a tall yellow. Here's a short yellow. Here's a short yellow. It's a tall yellow. Here's a tall green. Here's a short green. And here's a short yellow. So it's a 9 to 3 to 3 to 1 ratio from tall yellow, 9, tall green, 3, short yellow, 3, and short green, 1.